These two double doubles and fries from In-N-Out cost me $16.85, which feels like a really good deal these days. But it got me to wondering, how many burgers and fries could I make at home if I only had $16.85 to spend on groceries? Could I even get all the ingredients that I need?
Today, we put it to the test. However, to make things even more interesting, I want to make it a lower calorie version too, because I'm at a little bit of a cut right now, and the animal style fries with the double double will set you back over 1,300 calories. The homemade version, I'm hoping we can keep under 1,000, so we'll do a little macro breakdown at the end. So I'll see if we can save on the calories, and today's sponsor, Geico, could help you save some money on your home or car insurance. We'll talk a little bit more about Geico later, but first, let's break it down.
When it comes to recreating In-N-Out at home, we really just have three basic components: the fries, the special sauce, and the smash burgers. So I went through and put a shopping list together in Notion that I'll link below if you want to follow with me, but luckily this recipe does use a bit of pantry staples, so we really only need to get the fresh meats, vegetables, and bread.
So we actually have a pretty short shopping list for this one, which is kind of nice, but we do have to try to stay under $16.85, which is going to be a tough task, so let's get shopping.
For the produce, I grabbed some iceberg lettuce, one white onion, the best looking tomato I could find this time of year, and lastly, 2 large russet potatoes. Then I grabbed some no-fat American cheese, we'll see how it tastes, and lastly, we got 1.5 pounds of 93.7 ground beef, and for the buns, I just couldn't pass up the Martin potato rolls, even though there was 8 of them and they cost a little bit more.
So what's great about burgers is that obviously pretty simple ingredients, like you need beef and the buns, like those are kind of the integral pieces. Obviously we got to get American cheese, couple vegetables, and this stuff only was $19.37. But then additionally I do need some pantry staples, and this is all the pantry stuff that I use. So I'm going to itemize this cost. Just some spices, we've got vinegar for the fries, a little bit of peanut oil, some salt, mayo, ketchup, but this is all stuff that I literally just always have with me. But with that being said, let's make this burger and see how the healthy version stacks up against In-N-Out's classic one.
To start the fries, fill a pot with water and set it on to boil along with 2 handfuls of salt, and I'll explain why shortly. While that's going on, peel the russet potatoes, which are probably the best potato for crispy french fries due to the lower moisture content. Once peeled, slice the potatoes down into thin sheets and across into thin fry shapes. And you can adjust the thickness of the fries as you see fit, but I do recommend a thinner shape, especially considering these will be baked with very little oil. Once the fries are cut, back at the water, add 2 capfuls of vinegar and toss in the potatoes. And boil them for 8 to 10 minutes, and this process does a couple of things. First, the salty water internally seasons the potatoes. Secondly, it's going to burst starch granules and washes off exterior sugars, which will help the fries crisp a little bit better. And thirdly, the vinegar prevents the breakdown of pectin, so the fries, while still cooked in the center, won't fall apart as easily. Once boiled, drain the potatoes and add them to a wire rack over a baking sheet. And this is optional, but I like to toss these in the freezer for 4 hours so I can bake them whenever I need them. After freezing, add half to the bag to store in the freezer for later, and then preheat the oven to 450 degrees Fahrenheit, and let's bake these. To start, add a 7-gram drizzle of peanut oil to an empty sheet pan and toss it in the oven for 4 minutes. Once that's hot, bring it out and add the fries. And I like adding this thin layer of oil on the bottom to get increased surface area and just to speed up the cooking process a bit. And very importantly, before we bake these, make sure you leave ample room in between each fry or they will just end up steaming instead of ever getting crisp. After about 15 minutes in the oven, pull them out and give them a flip, and additionally add 1 more 7-gram drizzle of oil over the fries before tossing them back in the oven. And obviously, you can use more oil if you want. You could basically just shallow fry them in the oven, but after another 15 or so minutes, I think you'll be surprised how good these end up tasting.
I mean, I'm not gonna say these are good as deep fried because they're not, but for using 15 grams of oil, they're incredibly delicious and still crunchy too.
Now we aren't done yet because we're making these animal style fries, which is just using American cheese, special sauce, and caramelized onions. So add the fries to a dish, and I used 2 slices of that low-fat American cheese and then tossed it in the oven to melt. Once melted, hit it with some special sauce and the caramelized onion, and here's the macro and cost breakdown for the homemade version of the animal style fries.
So we have the fries done, let's move on to the burger, and we'll start with that special sauce that was used on the fries for the animal style and also is going to be used for the smash burgers.
For the burger sauce, set a bowl over a scale and add 70 grams of mayo, 80 grams of ketchup, a little splash of pickle liquid, and then a teaspoon of smoked paprika, onion powder, and black pepper. Then mix that all together, and I'll say it now, the hero of this sauce is the smoked paprika. I highly recommend using it. For our remaining burger toppings, we have some thinly sliced lettuce, some thinly sliced tomatoes with a little sprinkle of salt, and lastly, some thinly sliced white onion as well. So the toppings are ready. Let's talk beef. Again, I'm using the 93.7 lean ground beef and separating it into two 85-gram or 3-ounce balls of beef. And since I'm using really lean beef like this, I do like adding a little sprinkle of MSG along with the salt. Then on a ripping hot stove, add the beef ball down and give it a smash. You want to let these cook for about 45 to 60 seconds before flipping them, and you'll notice that due to the low fat content, these burgers won't develop a super brown crust, but overall, they're still definitely solid. Lastly, add 1 slice of the low-fat American cheese to each burger and stack them up. To assemble in the In-N-Out way, add 7 grams of the sauce to the top and bottom bun, and next add the salted tomato, the thinly sliced lettuce, before following with the burger. Now, one thing that I didn't realize is that In-N-Out places the onion between the patties, so I ended up having to reverse engineer this one a bit. And just take a look at this beauty. The macros for this burger clock in at 517 calories and 49 grams of protein, and overall, our homemade meal is just 956 calories when compared to the 1300 of In-N-Out. Now, before we taste test, thank you again to Geico for sponsoring today's episode. I'm partnering with Geico this year to explore meals that could save you time, money, or some calories in the kitchen. So check out the link below to see all the ways that you could switch and save with Geico. But now, let's see how our homemade version stacks up to In-N-Out.
Okay everyone, so we got both burgers. We have the In-N-Out cheaper and slightly lower calorie version, and then obviously we have the In-N-Out Double Dub with the animal style fries. So let's give these things a taste test and see how they stack up to each other. I'm pretty interested, actually. I think I'm kind of against animal style fries in general. I feel like you might get a couple good fresh bites, but
I love a loaded fry.
outside of that, they definitely get soggy. Like ours are gonna be soggy too. I will say, I'm just in general think In-N-Out's fries are pretty overrated and borderline just like not good. I definitely like their burgers. The fries, not a fan of. And then these have like, these weren't even deep fried. I used like 15 grams of oil, so I don't expect them to be like that much better, but you know, this is something that you can make at home that, you know, you can be a little bit more guilt-free than the deep fried ones.
My first time having In-N-Out fries.
I would say the fries are about the same, but like, I kind of like my sauce better.
Yeah. I do like their caramelized onions are better.
Yeah, they get like,
They're more deep.
they're deeper charred. I probably should have let mine go longer, but I didn't. I definitely like my sauce better though.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna save bad fries, you gotta have good sauce.
Yeah.
All right, In-N-Out.
All right, there you go.
What do you think?
That's a pretty good burger.
Yeah, it's like a solid burger. Like I would definitely just say solid.
This is the first In-N-Out burger I had. It's pretty good. Definitely tastes a little more higher quality than other fast food burgers.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely like a little upgrade. I just say like, for me, this is just like a solid all-around burger. It doesn't like wow me, but it's just like super solid. And I actually don't think this is like a super high fat burger. It doesn't really feel super fatty, so we'll see how different it is compared to this one.
Your sauce is definitely better, 100%.
Yeah, and I didn't dial back the sauce. Like I didn't try to make that healthier.
Yeah.
So it is just mayo and ketchup. But then like the smoked paprika, the onion powder, that's really what like ticks it up and makes it really good. And again, I would say just like overall solid. And again, this is made with 93.7 ground beef. So like if you're expecting some like super fatty, juicy thing that's just like gonna blow your world, like you're not gonna get that with 93.7 beef. But it's still a burger. It's still super, super
Yeah,
enjoyable.
no, that was good. Overall, their fry game is not very strong.
Yeah, that's always my takeaway with In-N-Out. The burgers I like, I think they're solid, but yeah, the fries are just kind of, honestly, I'd rather just get 2 burgers. Like, give me 2 burgers instead of the fries, like we're all good. All right, everybody, so hopefully you have enjoyed the breakdown of trying to make a cheaper and, you know, slightly lower calorie version at home that I think is just kind of a fun thing to do from time to time, especially, you know, maybe you don't have In-N-Out. This is a great route to do, and it's just kind of a lot of fun to like make it yourself. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. The recipe for this exact version will be up on my website if you want to follow. That's gonna wrap it up for me in this one. I'll catch you in the next one.